Hey, Jags, I made a new joke. You want to hear it?
Tell me.
What do you get when you cross a hipster and a bogan?
I don't know. What do you get?
You get someone who gets their AVOs served on toast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bearded Geeks, a weekly grab bag of topics covering movies, comics, video games, and TV. My name is Jags. I'm the Beard Master. With me today, my co-host Bobby Baxter. What's up? Doug Schindler. He's returned.
Hi.
And Russell Mania Redmond.
Hey, baby.
Third week in a row, Russell. You've been sleeping on my couch, haven't you?
Man, I'm loving it. It's great. I love being your housemate.
He literally hasn't left my house.
He hasn't showered.
Well, to be honest, the chain's pretty long, but I like it here.
How is everyone?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good, man. Good.
Good.
Doug, you've returned from Melbourne, from the international Melbourne thing you went to. What's it called? the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
The 2018 Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
How'd you go?
Internationally?
Internationally.
Yeah.
Internationally, I didn't even know it.
I was in a special Bengali showcase.
You stuffed that up and you're the most international one here.
Yeah.
How'd you go? Was it great?
It was good. It was good. I think I did about 12 sets in 10 days over there. So, late nights, lots of laughs, saw lots of shows. I think I've seen about 3 shows a day, from headliners to up-and-coming comedians.
Awesome.
Doing my own shows, doing sets with friends. It was just massive. Huge.
Who was the one that blew you away? Like, if you picked one or maybe 2.
I know. Like, if we look at the professional, fully fledged guys that are doing comedy full time, my favourites were probably Daniel Sloss, Celia Piccola, and Ursula Carlson.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably 3. Nick Kappa was one of my favourites. Another Anne Edmonds does a character, Helen Badu. And another guy called Jared McGowan, who's from Sydney. So they're the 3 that I've seen. So I'm going back next week, and I've got a whole more list of. I've got a Schindler's List full of.
Jesus, it must be a depressive fucking list.
Yeah, I'm just going to see all these Jews.
Well,
Did you do the same set every night, Doug, or did you have a couple of different sets?
Well, without spoilers, yes.
Okay.
I did do the. But the great thing is that everyone in each of those rooms hadn't only seen me for the first time. So whilst I was repeating a very similar set to myself, I did change up little bits here and there. There was a little bit of riffing, ad-lib, banter with the crowd and stuff like that, which was all very much unique to each show. But the standard jokes were very much the same for this one, which I'm kind of glad, because I've got a whole bunch of new jokes. So
Jokes?
Big, just big, black,
big throbbing dick jokes.
Conda size.
well, you're going to make jokes about what you know, so all you know is a big, massive amount of material.
Have I told you guys what I actually call my penis?
No.
I would love to hear this.
I actually call my penis Denzel. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? You're thinking I call him Denzel because he's brown and he looks good on camera, right?
No, because he's got like 3 Academy Awards.
Nah, you're very close. Because what is an Academy Award?
It's big and gold.
It's about 13 and a half inches long, 8 pound, and everyone wants to get their hands on one.
Oh, wow.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
And who said Hollywood's corrupt? So did you get any, were there any hecklers over there? Did you get to see any, great put-downs?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I was not towards myself.
No, but just in general.
Yeah, because I just claim racism.
You're like Yu-Gi-Oh! Dropping that card, just go, you've activated my trap card.
Oh, man, I saw this one. I did a set with a guy called Will Sylviance, who writes for the Dave Chappelle show. And he blatantly looked at this one lady in the crowd, and she was she was white, and he goes, "Oh, have you seen Black Panther?" And she's like, "No." He goes, "'Cause you are a fucking racist." I was like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. People, there was some hecklers and stuff just throughout the show, but, a good comedian will have a good comeback for a heckler. And Chris Franklin told me something, you might want to know this, that when it comes to dealing with hecklers, etiquette is anyone's joke is fair game. So,
gotcha.
So because a heckler is a comedian's enemy, essentially. Uh-huh. So if you've heard something that first comes to mind that would shut that heckler down, it doesn't matter if you've heard it from someone else. Don't think I'm stealing someone's joke. If it's to bring a heckler down, just go for it.
Right, because my go-to I want to use if ever have it happen to me is just if someone starts yelling, I go, "Oh, what do you want attention from me for? Didn't your dad hug you enough? Or did your uncle hug you too much?" And in Tasmania, yes.
There was one good one the other day when we were there, and this lady yells out to the comedian in question, and the comedian's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I tend to write jokes by myself in my hotel room just for me when I'm on stage. Now, you didn't happen to be in my room with me while I was writing jokes, did you?" No, well, shut the fuck up. Okay, so and it's like, yeah, no, they're all got their own sort of different ways,
It takes a special type of arsehole to be a heckler, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, another one of my mentors, Dave Thornton, spoke to me when we were talking about hecklers, and he said that, he tends to try and make a heckler inclusive, because generally they just want their 1 minute in the spotlight. So sometimes as a young comedian, or as an old comedian, if you really go back a heckler, you can end up in a to and fro conversation with them. You don't want that, because if you're doing a 5 or 10 minute set,
the audience gets off site and you've lost the whole thing.
You don't want to waste your 1.5 minutes of your set dealing with this heckler. So he'll usually try and be more friendly. He considers it like a bit of a dance, have a little bit of fun with them for 30 seconds, and then generally they'll pipe down. But if they're really drunk, then just go on and get them sent out.
Fair enough.
But that's the deep part of the night.
Now
Next on Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. Your emotions properly, feeling your emotions.
Now, Doug, you messaged me the other day and said you saw Ready Player One.
I did see Ready Player One on the weekend.
How was that? Non-spoilers.
Non-spoilers. I thought it was a good movie. I felt it fell short a little bit, to be honest. I just thought that...
Not like your penis.
No. You got some rugs.
Not in the running for Oscar.
I'm not sure where your carpet's been.
Rush.
Yeah, look, I just thought that it could have had a little bit more to it from my perspective. I thought the special effects were great. I think the use of everything pop culture from the 80s, 90s, even earlier on, when you're talking like King Kong and stuff like that, was great. I think it was a good way to include everything. Like, I think she rode a Tron bike,
Fuck yeah.
And he was in the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Oh.
I think we all know the premise of the movie, yeah.
Yeah, we got the gist, yeah.
Yeah, so...
We didn't know for a very long time, did we?
So yeah, they go into this this is nothing that the preview wouldn't tell you. They go into this alternate reality by putting on these sort of 3D goggles, and they've got to find these 3 keys in this magical world, essentially. But
fucking fetch quests.
Yeah. Oh, they brought in this, this obviously, they fall in love in the alternate world, but then, should they really meet each other outside of it? Because that's where if you're going to have a...
It's like online dating.
Yeah. He meets her and she comes out, tips his fedora and...
Yeah. So,
oh, you're a man too.
But I think the movie went for about 2 hours. I think it was an enjoyable 2 hours. I'd definitely see it at the cinema.
Yep.
Definitely a big screen movie.
Yep.
But look, everyone's TVs at home are pretty big these days too.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Yeah.
So, the days of saying you have to see it at the cinema are, if you want to spend $80 to go to the movies, definitely do so.
I think I might try to make it to see it. I think I might.
Yeah, it's good. And I just think that the story sometimes, I feel that when they put so much effort into special effects, that the story gets left to the side a little bit. And I thought the story's there. There was no twists. There was nothing surprised me about the story. I could see each way it was going, who was doing what. And
kind of paint by numbers kind of thing.
Yeah, it was just going through the motions to the end of the movie. So there was nothing really gripping about the storyline.
I heard yesterday that for the movie to break even, it has to make like 600 million, maybe 650 million worldwide just to break even.
Won't do that on the back of Black Panther.
And I think at the moment, I checked the box office today, I think worldwide it's made like 320 million, which is nothing to scoff at. But in the day and age that we're in now, with massive, massive budgets, I mean, it's getting harder and harder to make that money back, with advertising and everything. They say you spend $150 million on a movie, you got to spend, double that. Double another $150 million on advertising.
Jesus.
So just to promote the fucking thing. Whereas you could just turn around and sell it to Netflix and they just got to put a poster out. You watch it once, you forget about it. Forget about it!
Hey.
Well, your sale's already done, $9.99 a month, isn't it? So
It's gone up now. It's like $14.99 a month or something like that.
no, look, I'd recommend anyone who's listening that wants to see it, just go see it. It is good fun. So
That's one from Schindler. Go see Ready Player One. He's not being paid or anything.
no.
Yet.
Russell, you have been playing, now correct me if I get this wrong, Ni no Kuni 2,
Yes.
Revenant Kingdom.
That's it. I've been playing that. Yes, you've done a very good job, James.
On the PlayStation 4 home entertainment console.
I'll tell you what, I actually had to go and borrow it off my brother because, I lent it to
The
him.
pissy cartridge one or the other brother?
Yes, amazingly it came back with no urine.
How was that?
I
Was he like, don't piss on my disc?
He
I don't-
Coonied all over that.
Honestly, guys, I don't learn from my mistakes, but good. Happily enough, it did come back perfectly fine. I set it all up. I've been playing it for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yep.
And yeah, it comes off the back of the first game, which came out on the PS3.
I was real keen to get that. It was one that I'd missed at the time, but it was Studio Ghibli did the artwork.
Yep, Studio
for the first
Ghibli.
one.
and
Really?
all that, and the
Fuck, I
story.
didn't know that.
And everything, like every part of it was Studio Ghibli, and then Level 5 were the ones who came in and actually took all their elements from other games and then made the actual game from it. The first one relied on a lot of Pokemon styled, like, battling system, but this one is more action orientated and it is beautiful. The artwork is a lot better than the first one this time around. And
They're not connected anymore to Ghibli, are they? Like,
no,
with this
you're
one?
absolutely right. Yeah, they basically, Ghibli is just like out of the project, but you can still feel, it still feels like the little sort of like characters still got those little like British accents, just like, oh, look at me, we're going to go save the world, aren't we? Please, sir, may I have some more? Oh, wait, but yeah, the game has, it's really good, really well. The game is tight. It's getting really good scores, about 9.5s and that online. And
So the first one's kind of like in your Final Fantasy vein sort of story,
Yeah.
like a gameplay sort of thing.
gameplay. So the gameplay in the first one, you just run around the overworld and there's little monsters there and you hit them and then you go into like a battle arena sort of thing.
Yeah.
This one's same sort of thing. You're in an overworld, you come up against some dudes and then you go into a battle arena. But this one's action orientated, so you just run around doing like light hits, heavy hits, and like dodging and rolling and
Oh, cool.
yeah.
So it's not turn-based or anything like that?
No, not turn based. It's
No.
all
Yep. Awesome. Kind of like Final Fantasy's become at the moment.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much yeah. Like,
So is the
sorry,
story
Dougie.
is the story straight off the bat of the first one, or can you play this one? Do you
There
reckon,
are
without?
elements that are there if you care for it, but it doesn't affect the story at all. So you can just jump straight into this one like it's a brand new one.
Yeah, sweet.
So, yeah.
I might pick it up. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I'll lend it to you. I've got the game, so
Yeah,
when
cool.
when I'm done with it, which will
It's
be
a bit
like
pissy, though.
another couple of months. yeah,
Wipe it off.
you're
Get your
in.
dead old wipes out.
You're in for a lot of fun.
I'm still into
There's that
Pokemon
joke
Go.
again.
Oh, Pokemon Go, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Getting around catching all the
Kevin!
Pokemon.
Last week, I saw, I was going to see A Quiet Place. So with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. My sister made a surprise trip to town, so I was like, hey, do you want to go to the movies, go see this movie? And she's like, yeah, I'll go see it, it was wicked. And we went and saw this movie, and obviously, if you've seen the trailers, it's about this family. It's kind of, obviously, non-spoilers, guys. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Give me a spoiler.
No, fuck you!
I want to watch this so bad.
Is there a nude scene?
No.
Fucking hell.
Come on, Emily Blunt.
So if you watch the trailers and that, it's about this family that kind of live in this world, and when they get around, they have to be absolutely quiet. They communicate in sign language because there's things out in the world that if they make a noise, they will kill them.
Oh, this is this movie. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically like living in Ravo.
Yeah. Wow. Local reference.
Ravo is our enter any low socioeconomic area reference for your own self. There we go. Done. All right.
Ravenswood, it's called, but we call it Ravo.
Ravo.
So, A Quiet Place. All right, I'm telling the story.
Yep.
Shut up. So, yeah, we went and saw this movie, A Quiet Place, and that, and it was very, because obviously It's all about being quiet. So you watch the first probably 10 minutes of the movie, and it's very post-apocalyptic. So they're in this town in the first thing. All the cars are dead. There's nothing. There's no one. All you hear is like wind and like leaves blowing and all that sort of stuff. That's all you're getting. And we meet this family, and they're communicating in sign language and stuff.
So the apocalypse has already happened.
So the end of the world's already happened.
Beautiful. I love it when movies do that.
They're just out of the way.
Yeah,
Done.
I don't want to see it happen.
So I'm sitting in the cinema, and this movie's like very quiet. There's no noise or anything. Normally you're getting like music and people talking and dialogue, and it's pretty loud, and you can't really hear what's going on in the cinema. So I'm sitting there, and I can hear every single person in the cinema what they're doing. I can hear every rustling bag, every dirty fucker chewing on bloody lollies and shit.
Every fart and that belch.
And then behind me, I can hear someone fucking talking, and I turn my head to look, and I see that the bloke, because we went to like a late night screening, the usher dude had left the 2 fucking doors open to like the main foyer, and I could hear him out there talking to someone else.
Oh, wow.
And I looked over him, I was like, fuck, I'll give that guy 60 seconds if he doesn't shut that fucking door. So I'm sitting there for about another 45 seconds, and I can still hear him out there talking, not doing his job, the lazy fuck.
15 seconds ago.
So I'm like, fuck this, and I get up, and I'm like, fucking... and I go out there, and I look out the door, and here he is, standing there with his back to me, with his hands behind his back, talking to his co-worker. I'm like, fuck, slam the door, shut the other door, sit down, in the quiet, everything's good. And I watched this fucking movie, man, and I absolutely loved it. I loved everything about it. I probably couldn't fault it. My favourite movie this year, 5 out of 5.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was a perfect movie.
Favorite movie? That's
Wow.
It's only
And
April,
it's only 90 minutes. So yeah, it's an easy watch, and it's fucking great. Very small cast. I loved everything about it. And when I got out of the cinema, my sister and I walked back to the car, and I said to her, I was like, what did you think of the movie? She's like, you know, for a movie that didn't have a lot of talking in it, that was really bloody good, she goes. It was great. I fucking loved everything about it. It's not a Cloverfield movie, so if you're worried that it's a Cloverfield movie, it's not. If it was a Cloverfield movie, it would have Cloverfield in the title.
Was that at the Village Cinema?
Yeah, the Village, man. Yeah. And it was fucking great. The first, like, big scare, like, happened. It was a big noise, big scare and that. And I'm like, oh! And then I hear, like, 4 rows down, I hear this girl's, like, starting to cry. Like, she's sobbing. She's just, like, sobbing. For, like, 2 minutes after that. And I was like, you know, shut the fuck up.
Go down there and slam her doors.
And what was the name of the employee that was annoying you?
I don't know, but if I ever see him...
I think it was Ryan.
I'm fucking coming for you, Ryan.
We know where you live.
But yeah, A Quiet Place, I can't recommend it enough. I thought it was the perfect movie.
Ryan better find a
Perfect
fucking
little
quiet
movie.
place.
I have links to ASIO and ISIS. Ryan, you're fucked.
We've just been flagged on the watch list now forever.
The Bearded Geeks has got ISIS.
I guess you could say down there at the Village Cinemas, Ryan is the village idiot.
Fucking oath he is. Bloody hell.
Let's get him.
Ali Akbar.
Jesus. That's the end of that. The podcast is over. We're not going to make it to this workshop because we're going to get flagged and cancelled before then.
Just for context, the audience, Doug's brown, so he can be making these jokes. We're not being racist here. Like it's. God. Is that going to be cut?
Probably not. No.
Oh, thank God.
My name's Doug Schindler. My family's German. How can I be brown?
I don't want to. I don't have to explain.
You live in Tasmania. I mean,
Oh, for Christ's sake. You just look at the photo on the. Yeah.
If you check Instagram, there's a full colour photo, so there's no mistakes. It's not going to be in black and white.
That's a negative.
sepia.
It's a negative.
Extra emphasis on colour.
This turned real bad.
I'm sorry, boys. So what's the next part?
Hello, Bobby. How are you?
G'day.
Hey, Bob.
How you going, mate?
I'm alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Baxter.
Hey. I forgot I was here too.
We got this workshop coming up in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I've worked out like the skeleton of it, but we need to get together so we can fill in those gaps.
Okay.
Just a little bit of catch up there for the future.
So
I just wanted you to feel included today.
Yeah.
Because we got
So there
two
you go,
comedians
listeners.
again that are just like still in the spotlight and telling everybody we're like in fucking ISIS fucking recruiting podcast or something like that, which we're not. We are not. Doug, you'll never be back. That's it. That's the end of it. The diversity program of the Bearded Geeks podcast is over.
What about the IED workshop that we're putting together?
Jesus, Bob. We've only been digging that bunker for the last 3 months. Now I'm going to have to fill it in with cement. Fucking hell. You have to open your mouth.
Has anyone seen where I left my turban? Somewhere here. Russell?
Oh, fuck, dude, your camel's gone off. I'll go get it.
The camel's off the leash.
It's my favourite camel.
Oh, Humpy. I love Humpy.
All right, let's do the news. Toy Story 4 officially has a release date. Disney announced today, I think it was today or yesterday. Toy Story 4 will officially be released June 21, 2019.
Yeah,
Bobby Baxter, tell me your thoughts.
Yeah.
Did we really need another Toy Story after Toy Story 3 wrapped it up so beautifully and man-tear-inducingly?
In my opinion, no. we don't need any more.
You need another Woody?
But, you know, I'm probably going to fucking go see it because I'm a bloody idiot.
And you have kids.
Yeah, and now I have a kid. Yeah.
I reckon what's happened is the CEO's just thought to himself, I want another fucking yacht.
Same cast?
I want to upgrade the yacht. Yeah, same cast. The story is described as a romantic comedy that focuses on Woody and his relationship with Bo Peep. Woody and Buzz will have to team up for a new adventure to save Bo and bring her back.
Cool.
Medium on that premise, Bob?
Pretty medium. But, you know, Pixar, they can fucking turn a turd into gold, so, you know.
I saw Coco, man. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was Coco, Pixar's best movie, but fucking hell, man, they've got so many good ones. Like, it's up there.
Yeah. I haven't actually seen Coco yet.
Man, you should get it on 4K now you've upgraded. It is fucking pretty. It is real pretty.
Pixar stopped selling their fucking 4K Blu-rays for like $85 a pop.
They are expensive, aren't they?
Fucked.
Bloody hell.
Just go get them from Cunningham's in a couple of years. We have to do a Cunningham's.
We have to do a Cunningham's, babe, yes.
Yeah.
Now, we had a couple of new trailers this week. Fucking hell, that whole ISIS thing's really throwing me off.
Well, I think it's thrown everyone off, man. It's a really big issue.
Don't fight your dreams.
God damn it.
Look how uncomfortable all the white guys are.
You're really blowing up in here, mate.
All right, we had a couple of new trailers this week. We got the new Solo trailer. Star Wars story for Han Solo. The movie, Han Solo's greatest hits.
You gotta work it hard to be a solo man.
Fuck, that's a dated ad.
Yeah, I know.
I've heard that for years. That was like a 90s
I
ad.
thought you were talking about Han beer.
Oh, fuck, don't tell me about that. I got really drunk on that one, so I can't smell it anymore.
Han beer. It's the worst beer.
It's so bad.
Like, sorry if we ever get sponsorship.
Wow, Han, we're just about to sponsor us. I heard the email come through.
We don't want your fucking sponsorship. You're a shit
If
beer.
it was Han, it would have come through by fax.
Yeah, Han, we don't want your Han outs.
All right, boys, rein it in. Let's get back on topic. Han Solo trailer. We all watched it just before because none of you had seen it except for me.
I saw it at the preview of Ready Player One.
All right, fuck you.
I saw it on the big screen.
I saw it at the movie on the
In
big
4K.
screen in 4K while I was having a popcorn and a large Fanta for $17
Yeah, well, I just saw it in the lounge room there before with everyone else.
on my 4K telly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked great.
What you think?
No, it looks okay. Yeah.
I like this trailer. I like the music choices and stuff. It feels like a
think-
real rollicking bloody heist movie.
I think it's going to be a great movie. I don't know if it's going to be a great Star Wars movie. Like, it's straight away, it's going to be a great movie.
Boom!
Just
Drop the
whether
mic.
it's
Russell Redmond said it.
I don't know that much about Star Wars, but like, I just watch a lot of people online go, oh, God, I'm going to kill my dog because I'm so angry. Yeah.
I had no idea how old Chewbacca was.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
190,
190, wasn't
Yeah, that's right.
40, 109? I don't know.
it? Hairy blokes live for longer, so you'll be set, Bobby.
I'll be right.
So is that all we got to say on the Solo trailer? Yes.
We saw the trailer for Meg.
Yeah, I was getting to that.
Just keeping it rolling along for you there, Brent.
Doug just wants to talk about that big fishy.
Okay, so we had the trailer for The Meg.
The Meg, sorry.
The Meg. Did you see the poster for it?
No.
No.
The poster is like there's a scene in the trailer where everyone's like having a rollicking good time at the beach, and they're in their bloody inner tubes and stuff, and their floaties on, and it's like a downward shot of like all these people like on the ocean. You've just got like the Meg like swimming, like taking up the whole bottom half of the poster, like underwater. It's fucked up. If you're terrified of sharks, wink, wink, then you won't like that poster or that movie at all.
Yeah, it really looks like Jaws on steroids, doesn't it? It's just, whoa.
It looks really fucking good.
It looks like Michael Bay's like done a Jaws movie. Just like, all right, sharks cool.
How do we make a better shark movie? Let's make it bigger.
Scale it up.
He was like, either we could strap a bunch of sharks together, or we could just make a really big shark. And the budget wasn't big enough for strapping them together.
What is that one with the sharks all together? Like the 5-headed shark and then the one shark.
Oh, was that Sharknado?
No, there was Sharknado and then there was another one.
That sounds terrifying.
There were so many. There were so many of those Roger Corman movies.
You keep talking. I'm gonna Google
The Monster Asylum. What are they? I think it's Roger Corman's production company. They make all the Sharknado movies and stuff. But Sharknado's wrapping up after the last movie, apparently. But all those movies make their money back.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, there's a market for just about everything. Like, so obviously there's people that just want dumb shark movies. Let's hope this one's not going to be one of them.
Here it is. It's actually called 5-Headed Shark Attack. And it's on Netflix at the moment, so you can watch it. And it's about the 5-headed shark is all heads and teeth, shaped like a demented starfish.
They were like
this
Googling.
monster terrorizes the open ocean before invading beaches of Peru or Puerto Rico, endangering the once peaceful island paradise.
Actually, that sort of reminds me a bit of during industrial times, there was this thing called a king rat, which was just a whole bunch of rats who were all stuck together by their tails because of so many rats in squalid conditions. Their tails would all connect together and they wouldn't be able to move.
The Rat
so
King.
It's called a king rat, and that's where king rats came from, was that concept. And yeah, you don't see them very much anymore because there isn't that many rats around.
The human
No
centipede
shit.
took
I think
over.
there's a Dark Souls boss that's a Rat
Is it?
King that's like that, yeah.
Man, I fought some rats in the sewers
Or
in Dark
Bloodborne.
Souls the other week. It was fucked up.
Maybe it's Bloodborne. I don't know, I can't remember.
Yeah, but watch that on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it
It's
out.
a weird ass movie.
Missus will love that.
Yeah.
Five-headed... what?
Five-headed
It's
shark.
called 5-Headed Shark Attack.
I just like how before you were describing, you're like, what's that movie about those, like, that, it's about 5-headed sharks and they attack things. Oh yeah, 5-headed shark attack.
It's like they were Googling it.
Hello,
They're just
Captain
like,
Obvious.
shark movies. What names are left that we can use? They're
It
like,
was
four-headed shark attacks already been used, so...
It was
fuck.
4:30 on a Friday when they were naming it. They're just like going, fuck, what are we going to name it? It's about 5-headed shark.
It's like when I worked
Alright.
for Maroon 5. I worked for Maroon 5 and
Did you work for Maroon 5?
Yeah, and
Oh,
my assistant walks in and she's setting up the dressing room for them. She's like, Doug, how many in the band? So me and one of the other roadies turned around and went, 7?
Yeah, you're like, this is worse that time I worked for S Club 7. Well, actually, no, they did change it due to like people having drug issues and a lot of them leaving the band and that. So now they're just literally called S Club because they've got 3 in there. So they can't really go S Club 3 because they're like, fuck that, I'm not going there. I've got like half the amount.
3's barely a club. That's kind of like just a small gathering. Small gathering.
You don't even have a D&D party with 3 people, do you?
Oh, wouldn't that be the worst D&D session with all the S Club 7 people there? It'd just be like, they'd have no idea how to play. It's like, oh, I don't know, like, what's he going to do? I don't know, roll the dice and he attacks him or something?
You're being attacked by a giant tree. What are you going to do? I want to fuck that tree.
Yeah.
You've got to roll a 20. Oh, it's a 19. Damn it.
Oh,
Tree just fucked you. I am really thrown off by everything that happened about 5 minutes ago.
We were talking about trailers.
Oh, we were. Yeah,
pretty
absolutely.
fucking-
But we've done that now.
We got to S Club 7 playing Dungeons and Dragons. That was a good bloody, walk-off.
And then I worked for Maroon 5.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, you did. That's very impressive. All right, so we might get serious. We're going to go into our
That's very impressive.
You're going to have to put, like, them on the podcast now.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Don't sing it too well, otherwise YouTube will pick it up. They'll be like, oh, you're putting a song on there. Doug's like, oh, very good singer.
I worked with him.
How many's in the band?
7?
Alright, that's enough. We're going into our topic now. We're doing something. Shut up! Shut the fuck up, everyone! Jesus! I'm trying to bring it back. I'm trying to save the
I
episode.
just keep thinking of you editing this later on.
Hello, future Brent.
Hi, friend.
Alright, I'm going to save the show now. We're going on to our main topic. We're doing something very creative today. We're not doing any bloody list or anything. We're mixing it up. This was Bobby Baxter's idea.
Sorry.
So today we're going to do some movie pitches. So the point behind all this is, well, not the point, the way we're setting it up is, each of us get 2 movies to pitch. So we get to pitch an indie movie and a blockbuster film. Mm-hmm. So if we could make an indie movie for $100,000, what would it be? And who would we cast? You know, kind of what genre and that it would be. And the same for the blockbuster film. So for the blockbuster film, we would have $100 million budget. And what would it be? What would it be about? Who would you cast and that? Just to mix it up, get our creative juices flowing, and have a bit of fun with it. So we might riff and fill in some gaps of people. Be like, what about if there was a giant 5-headed shark in your family drama?
But what does this 5-headed shark do? Does it attack or?
It's an orthopedic surgeon.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
I like
5 heads are better than 1, you know.
Oh, that's great tagline.
So, Doug, I've nominated you to go first.
Let's go first.
So tell us about your indie film. Pitch it to me, and I might see if I want to finance it or not.
All right, as a bit of a Rob Reiner fan and Spinal Tap,
Oh, very nice.
being one of my favorite movies, I figured that with my 100,000, I would make a mockumentary.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny about that?
Oh, where are we going with this?
About the life of Russell Redmond.
No,
It's
please
about the resurgence of chicken feet.
don't steal my fucking ideas.
Well, that's basically where I kind of got to, but I thought that I would try and, maybe do a mockumentary style, the deadliest catch type thing. That way we can do it down in Tassie, maybe on the Cray boats or something,
Oh, I like that.
and then you could have interviews with guys on the wharf, young rookie deckhands that fall overboard or, and so, yeah, it'd be just very local, it'd give a bit of a Tasmanian push, but it'd be, definitely a mockumentary about maybe crayfishing in the Bass Strait or something like that.
I like it. 99 problems, but a bish and no.
Would you cast anyone local, or would you just
I'll
cast
put my
yourself?
hand up.
Or
Yeah, you'd be perfect.
I reckon,
If I just stood around with this beanie on that I've got right now.
the hipster crayfisher?
But yeah, Bobby Baxter would make the perfect, just offshoot dumb character sitting aside. They just throw, tell him to do things, and he'd just be like, okay, yeah, okay.
No, because I probably...
What are you trying to say?
Oh, no, sorry, dude, no offense. I'm just saying you're a fucking idiot.
could probably cast a few sort of local Australian comedians, like David
Oh,
Quirk.
yeah, that'd be great, yeah. Quirky'd be perfect.
Quirky would be perfect.
Oh, you want me to go and get the nets? Why do you want me to get the nets for the fishing boat? Why do you want... Oh!
Because you work on a fucking fishing boat.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll go get it, okay. That's basically what'll happen.
So I'd a lot of Australian comedians I think would be good in it.
Chris Franklin would make a great, grizzled, sort of, classic fisherman sort
The
of
old
thing.
captain.
Just like...
Because
I've been doing this for 20 years,
He was
yeah.
in the Navy too,
He was in the Navy, yeah. So, there'd be a lot of
I'd like to
seamen.
see Bob Franklin or something as the ship captain.
Yeah. So, I think you guys can jump on board with this one. I think it would work well.
Literally. Jump on board. There's the tagline. Done. Lock it in.
Oh, wow. Look at that. We're in.
We're in.
All right, I'd finance that mockumentary for sure.
Yeah.
$100,000. Could you do it for $100K? I'd just with the cray boat and stuff.
Chris would drink most of it. But
Yeah. Now we do it.
Fuck yeah.
All we need is one 4K camera and we'll be right.
Perfect.
Give David Attenborough a run for his money.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have a Narwhal or something.
What?
A Narwhal whale pop up.
Oh, narwhal.
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 Yeah, with the one horn.
Oh, yeah.
Unicorn fish.
Except they're way up in the north, Arctic Ocean and that. So
Oh, they're not down in the Antarctic?
what if it's just no? No, they're way up in the north.
We could have a mullet. That's about the extent of our fishing.
Yeah,
You could do that, the narfish or whatever it is. Look at that. Is that a narfish? No, it's a bloody unicorn fish, that is. I think it's a narfish. No, it's a bloody unicorn
no, that'd
fish.
be a
I've
great-
been doing this for 25 years. I think I know a unicorn fish when I see one.
Fuck, that'd be a great running joke. Is that it pops up every now and then, and like the David Quirk character's like, I just saw a narwhal. And it's like, no, you fucking didn't. They're not even in this. I just did. I saw them. There was a narwhal. Just why doesn't anyone believe what I say? There was a narwhal. It's like, you're a fucking idiot, mate. We all know it's not there. And just like keeps popping up every now and then. Like, cause he's such an idiot, people just like don't believe. He's like, I saw a fucking narwhal. He just spends the whole time trying to catch the thing.
It's like that old Kit Kat ad. Remember that with the panda?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy was, every time he looked at it, it wouldn't do anything. Then he turned around, it was like dancing. He turned back around, it's like...
I'm down. So what's the name of the movie you're going to throw out?
Let me think about it.
All right.
You guys go, and then I'll come back with a name.
Russell, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I'd like to go.
Stars.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Doug. You don't get to choose anymore. That's the answer.
Rudy has been just signed on the dotted line.
$100,000. So my idea is, so it's much in the same way, but it's an actual documentary, not a mockumentary. But it's set out in this small country town in Tasmania called Mathina. Now, Mathina, for some of you who don't know, is this tiny little mining town that back in like the 1800s during the gold rush, it was like the third biggest like settlement in nearly the whole country. Just like in the state, it was huge. And there was like thousands of people there mining for gold. But now it's probably about, what do you reckon, Jakes? How many do you reckon's there?
Oh, jeez, it'd be fuck all. It'd be less than 100.
Less than 100 people.
Yeah.
So
My pop's originally from Mathina.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We had a good chat about it.
Yeah, this is an actual thing that you do want to do.
I do want to do.
Yeah.
I've got a mate who's he does filming and stuff like that, and he was saying, yeah, this sounds like a great idea when he gets time to do it. But basically, the town has died in the ass over the last fucking 30, 40 years. It's just got dilapidated, like weatherboard houses and that. It's just a really like fucked up little country town. But it's so charming and like beautiful in its own respect. We go there camping every year, and we always go down to the local club. And the local club is the only place you can get beer. We all just get really drunk there, have a great old time. And it's run by this young guy named Adrian. And he's basically revived Mathina. There's now events there now. There's like toilet blocks and stuff like that set up.
Toilet blocks?
No, well there was shower blocks and that for campers and things like that.
Right, okay.
And like he looks after the whole bloody town. So not only is he just like feeding everyone beer, he's going down to the campgrounds, dropping off like timber for them to burn, like in their fires and that.
Like the mayor.
He's basically is. He just what happened is that they originally the club is owned by the town. And the town just said, all right, if you want to run the pub and that, you've got to pay a certain amount. And then whatever you make after that, you can keep. So he said, all right. So he put forward a certain amount of money. He made it back real quick like that. And now he's just basically running the fucking shop now. He's doing a great job reviving Mathina. And I want to make like this really uplifting story about this small town that's just getting better and better every year.
But really is like Al Swearingen, and there's a dark underbelly to Mathina that we haven't seen before.
That'd be great, man.
we know Mathina.
People make a lot of jokes. They always go, "Oh, Mathina," more like Methina because of all the ice use. But it's not a very funny joke. So.
Doug's loving it.
Doug's like tickle Doug, but no, I think it'll make a great like little documentary in that, and just following the exploits of this guy's day-to-day thing. And he's set up his own little general store there as well, and he's setting up like accommodation for backpackers and that. And he's struggling to get hold of this like B&B across the road because they won't sell it to him because the place is like making more money. So they're like pushed up the price because they're like, oh, you can afford this. And he's like, no, I really can't, but I still want to use it. But it's not used at all. So he's just like...
So it's just sitting there going to waste at the moment.
Yeah, it's got a great struggle to the story, and it's fantastic. And this guy is just so endearing. He's like one of those rare types of people who's really relaxed and calm and chilled out, but is also very motivated. It's like weird to meet people who are motivated as well as being like chill.
Yep.
Because normally they're very like up in your face. Ooh, look at me. He's just like, no, man, I'm just running the pub. It's all good. But he's just like, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. So yeah, that's.
If you ever just do decide to make that, fucking give me a call because I want in on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You give me
We talked
one
about that
You can be one of the showrunners. Just
I'll go hang out at the pub there for a while.
Producer!
fuck, you'd be perfect sitting up there, man.
We go in and like, Bob, what the fuck are you doing here?
I want to run the service station.
Well, to be honest, this is how small
Come down
it is.
to Doug's Petrol and bought him.
There's two.
You're not making a mockery of my self-serve ice cream machine?
Wasn't there a big story about the Apu and the
Apu from
Simpsons about this?
Yeah, and it's still going at the moment.
Jesus, Doug, you're not doing him any favours, mate.
So yeah, that's my story, boys. That's what I want to do.
Do you have any idea what you'd call it?
I don't know. I really don't know. Leave it with me.
Methina, the little town that could.
Methina revival, or just I don't know, just back roads back.
Very good.
That sounds good. Leave it with me. I'm not too good on the spot.
It's back.
Back
What
roads.
is that? Don't say anything before you say back.
No, well, I'm saying like back streets back roads back. You know, because it's a back roads town. You know, back roads back. We got here.
Back if the Backstreet Boys came from Methina
And they do that song.
connect that.
You can get the Backstreet Boys in to do that song.
Back roads back. Incest. That's a joke. They're lovely people out there. Sorry.
Sorry, Adrian.
Sorry, Adrian, well, you know you listen.
Yeah.
Oh, does he? Oh,
I don't think so.
I don't think they get internet out there. Actually, no, they do because he recently got internet set up out there for him.
Fucking hell, what a guy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Absolute champion. So he could probably hear this now.
Nah, you would have tuned out right about the ISIS.
No, that's silly.
All right, I want to do my indie film.
I can't wait to hear it, man.
Now, I was thinking about it at work today because we only decided to do this about 10 hours ago. So I'm a bit scrambling to get it done. But I was at work this morning, I'm running around and I'm thinking about it and I'm like, what would I do for an indie movie? What would I do for an indie movie? And I'm like, I would do a horror film, obviously. So I would do a horror film. It's called Inheritance.
Ooh.
And it's about a young girl. She's had a very close relationship with her grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
He's a screenwriter at Hollywood, so he's a very famous screenwriter. But he's recently passed away. I haven't worked out all the nuts and bolts of it, but there's been a bit of distance between the two. And he's died, and left her everything. Alright?
Yep.
So then she inherits everything, and she goes to his house, and she's kind of going through everything. She's looking through the photo albums and all this sort of stuff. And he was a screenwriter and stuff. And she was very inspired by that when she was younger, so she wanted to be a writer as well. And she finds his typewriter. And he uses an old-fashioned typewriter, and that's what he's always written on. He's never upgraded to a computer or a laptop or anything. And she's sort of just going through, she's finding all these old manuscripts and stuff. And she goes through, and like I said, I haven't worked out all the kinks, but she finds out that there's something behind this typewriter, okay? There's this power to it. So, she finds out that he's had this typewriter, but when he was a kid, when he was younger, he always wanted to be a screenwriter and stuff, but he was never any good. And he found this typewriter, and he found out that everything he wrote with this typewriter came true.
Oh, sick.
So he wrote a script about his life, about how he wanted his life, and that's how he became such a good writer. That's how he became such a great, screenwriter, and that's how he became very famous. But then she's gone through all these old scripts and all these old, all these old papers and stuff, and she finds out that he has been manipulating history his entire life.
Oh, that
So
sounds
he's been
fucking
changing
awesome.
events. So as he's gone through his life, he has, he's found out, I never liked that JFK guy. So, he's going to be shot from the book depository on the 5th floor or whatever in the back of the head. Boom, dead. And then, she goes through, and it's kind of like a Death Note meets, I've always liked, I like the idea of, having great power. I wrote it down on my hand so I didn't forget it. So you not having great power without consequence.
Yep.
So with everything, it's kind of like the monkey's paw. That short story from 1918 or whatever. This guy finds a monkey's paw, and every wish you make on it, is granted, but with great consequence. So there's this one wish he makes, where he wishes for £200 so they can pay off the rest of his mortgage. So the next day, his son is killed at work at the mill, and there's this big settlement and that, and for the settlement they get £200. Right. So that's where he got the 200. So there's no reward without consequence.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what happens with this typewriter, and she decides that, her grandfather probably wasn't the awesome bloke that she always thought, and she always wanted to be a writer herself, and she's so good at it, so she decides to, she's tempted to use this typewriter to change the situation. So she has a personal situation of her own, a money situation. So she decides, okay, if I just, put down, I find $1,000 on the side of the street and I can pay off that credit card or whatever. That's just that one thing. I can let that slide, But then she sees what's happening in the world, and it's kind of like a Death Note situation. She's like, do I take this power and run with it? Can I change? Should I meddle with things? But then there's consequence as well. So I always thought for like $100,000, you could do it almost like a single location sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like in his office.
Sort of thing, or...
Yeah, you could do it it's in his office and that, and she's typing away, shots of the typewriter, but then all the updates and that you're getting is like on her phone.
Yeah,
so you're looking like news
that'd be
reports
good.
and stuff like on her phone, and things are changing.
Yep.
And then obviously by the end, it goes pear-shaped. I hadn't really completely worked out what it was, but...
And so you don't want it to be like...
You basically wrote the fucking script.
Yeah.
Did you think about this just this afternoon?
This was this morning at work, yeah.
And no, this morning.
I would want her to be played by Mackenzie Davis from like Blade Runner and Black Mirror and stuff. I think she's a great young actress, and I think she'd make a great lead in my short film, my indie film.
Now, would you have the explanation made about the actual typewriter itself, or you'd leave that as an enigma? Like, because I like it when they leave things as an enigma.
I had all these different ideas and stuff. I was like, I had this idea. I was like, her grandfather was like a Nazi war criminal, and it was Hitler's typewriter and shit like that. But because Hitler was into the occult and the supernatural and all that sort of stuff, so I thought, that's where it come from. It was imbued with dark supernatural forces or whatever. But then I had another idea, like in a roundabout sort of way, like her entire life has been shaped by him. So like she's been like he was like shaping her life. Oh, granddad, I got bullied at school and that today. That kid got hit by a car the next day. That sort of thing.
Granddad's just like, don't worry, sweetheart. There's a way to deal with everything.
But I had lots of different ideas, like, he always wanted, like, a grandchild and stuff, but then he finds out that his daughter couldn't conceive or whatever, so then he, like, bangs out, like, oh, it's a miracle, she can have children and that now, and all this sort of stuff. I had all these different ideas, but... Yeah, just breaking it down to the gist of it, it's pretty much just this girl in this house, in this office, with all these manuscripts and stuff, and this typewriter. And it'd be called...
I love it.
Inheritance.
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's done. Signed.
Yep. How the fuck
Easy.
do I follow that? That was
You get the 100,000.
Yeah,
You've got it.
you've got
You're
it.
ready to go.
You got the 100K for sure.
Thank
Took
you.
my mockumentary funds.
Well, he gets 98. Maybe we'll give you one each.
I'll take about $250 just to cover the beer.
The Fjord of Mithina.
You got to get the Fjord of Mithina, yeah. It's not exactly a short drive, yeah.
Well, we'll just sell it
Where
to
is
Adrian.
Methina? Is it a real place?
Yeah.
Of course it is. I just said before my grandfather was from Mithina.
Fuck,
thought you were just,
I love you, Dave.
Getting into the whole thing.
No, it's you know where Fingal is? Do you know where Fingal is?
Yeah.
Yep. It's about 30 k's sort of inland of that.
Before you get to Fingal.
No, as you get into Fingal, you fang a left and then go 30 k's up that way. Oh, sorry. Turn left and then drive for 30
That's what
k's.
Google Maps
Fang it.
Why do you go
says.
there once a year?
Huh?
Why do you go there once a year?
To camp, he said that.
No.
Oh, because the in-laws go there camping once a year, and it's just a great camping ground, nice and quiet. Because they used to ride motorbikes, and like a lot of those forestry tracks are used as motorbike tracks. So yeah.
Yeah, there had to be a reason why they go there.
Oh yeah,
Because they really like it.
Is there a water hole or an bunyip?
Depending on how much you're drunk, there are some scary creatures walking around the water holes.
So like many years ago, I woke up next to a bunyip.
All right, Bob, tell me about your indie movie. Your $100,000 indie movie. Pitch it to me.
$100,000 sounds like a lot of money to a guy like me, but it's
not really.
It doesn't go far. So I would do an animated short. I mean, I don't think I wouldn't get a feature out of $100,000.
Yeah, fuck yeah, animated.
But yeah, I'd go animated, like, maybe a 5 to 10 minute sort of, like, just go fucking balls to the wall.
And the $100K is to cover you all the time you take off work to do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
What would it be about? Tell me.
I was racking my brain for like good indie ideas for a short movie, but I thought I probably couldn't go past just doing Brown Fury.
Yeah.
Like just, and not even doing the story that's already done in the comic book form. Just go something completely fun and different, like whack 'em on a fucking planet with zombies or something, and
Just do like a one-off short?
Yeah. Just like go completely fucking nuts.
Like a Bugs Bunny cartoon kind of thing for 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, if you want any comedy writers, we can get some like comedians to help you write them real cheap. I know them too. We get paid in beer.
They have to be of a quality caliber.
Oh well, you fuck then.
Who would you get to voice Chip?
To voice Chip.
Out of all the people we know, who would be the best fit for Chip?
Fuck, Chip's hard. I kind of picture...
Get Hales to do it. Or Frankie.
I picture sort of like an Irish thing with Chip. Like, I actually, like, in my head, he sounds like a drunk Irishman that you
So
can't...
you want to get a fucking Irishman to do the job, are you?
Sorry, Bob.
But I reckon I can find someone to do the fucking job for you.
There's too many words I can actually still make out in that. You got to, like, really...
say how it is. We can't say it. Well, shit like that, right?
That's better.
Thank you very much.
Bob, I actually know a few Irishmen, so
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I could get them in.
Yeah.
I could get them in.
Just offer alcohol. They'll turn up.
What if they don't drink? Then they're not real Irishmen. I would finance that. I would finance $100,000 Brown Fury.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I've got it for free on Webtoons, so I'd pay for it.
I'm down for the brown.
For the brand.
Actually, no, take that back. I'm interested in the brown. Let's move on.
Doug, tell me about your blockbuster if you haven't come up with a title for your mockumentary yet.
I thought we were going with Strawn Wars.
Hardcore Strawn.
Strawn Stars.
Hardcore Strawn, that's really good.
Oh, that's great. Hardcore Strawn. That's great. Fuck, I reckon we could turn it into an actual show.
Yeah, that sounds like more like a mini-series than a $100,000 indie movie.
Yeah.
It's like Hardcore Strawn is just like a Breaking Bad set in Strawn. It's just, he's like, excellent.
Tell me, Doug. Tell me your movie.
there would
Tell me
be
your
a
blockbuster
blockbuster.
film that you're going to write, direct.
Right and direct. Okay, my blockbuster movie. Let's see if you can get your head around this, because this is one I've actually been thinking about for a while.
Well, you're just going to talk about it on the show and someone's going to steal it. That's okay. No one listens to this show.
It's based in a little town called Mathina.
Hang on a sec, Mathina doesn't exist.
His granddad lived there. I listen.
The fictional town of Mathina.
His granddad lived there and you slept with a bunyip.
I'll send some photos in for you to post up next time.
I know it's real. Yeah.
Prove it's real.
I'll point it out on my map of Tasmania.
I mean, you got to see the Google Maps pictures, though, was when they're driving through Mathina. You can see all the locals throwing sticks at them. Because they're like, what's going on here? It's a vehicle. Kill it. What's with this angry metal bull?
Have you seen Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Of course I fucking have.
Okay. Silly question. Bob hasn't seen it.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So basically, my idea of a movie is another action movie that splices off from Die Hard with a Vengeance. So it's got nothing to do with Die Hard with a Vengeance. But whilst I was watching Die Hard with a Vengeance, remember the taxi scene?
Of course I remember it.
Yeah. Because
Well, they go through Central Park and stuff.
Yeah. So all people running everywhere, right? But what I'd like to do is to start it with that scene and then follow one of the side characters that run off from the movie, from it. So because you offer...
I'm picturing like Seinfeld, like Kramer getting back to the...
Doug, I love how your brain works.
Because there's just... My brain works like there's just so many other sub-stories and characters out there that we only have to follow John McClane and his story, right? So what if someone else's story is like... What if there's two actual massive action adventures going on in New York at the same time?
That's great.
But we're only getting John McClane's side.
Rather than getting John McClane's story, they actually cross paths at this point of the movie. So we end up now, we follow the other action story and we don't follow Die Hard with a Vengeance.
So what's that action story about?
That's where you come in.
Take this $100 million.
And make that movie. But that's how you have to start it from the splice.
But then it turns into Harold and Kumar went to White Castle or whatever.
That'd be great, actually. That'd be great. You splice off from an action movie, and it cracks into like a mob movie, and then from there into a romantic comedy movie, and then just all these genres in a movie, just like.
But it can also zigzag past through the
another
same
one
movie
again
that's already been happening,
and it just fucks around with the system. And
They nearly get run over by the truck full of gold, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, exactly. Because like we always follow one movie, like Die Hard, and any of those sort of movies. You think, well, that's the only story that's happening in a city as big as New York, but there should be more other stories going on.
They
he
talked
goes back
about
to
that.
work, and there's like rumbling in the roof above him, like. What the fuck is that?
No, that's right. The Office style thing is just like they're just talking. Someone makes a joke. And he's just like looks at the camera, and then just like hears rumbling, looks up, and he looks back at the camera, like in The Office.
They actually talked about that same idea. To go back to Cloverfield, there's a scene in the first Cloverfield where all these people meet on the bridge, and because it's all handheld, like bloody found footage and that, there's a scene where he turns around and he sees this other guy with a camera, and the camera's face to face. And they always talked about like for a sequel, they were like, if we did a sequel, like there was another guy like with a camera, like what's to say there's not a million other people running around with cameras? Like what are their stories while this same event's happening?
That's crazy. I really like this idea.
It's an interesting idea, but come back to me when you fleshed it out a bit more, and then we'll talk.
I feel
I like where you're going with it, though. I like the premise.
So what about actors and stuff like that? Who would you like to put in there?
And they come across Donald Trump, and he's trying to grab someone by the pussy.
Hey, folks, I want to say this movie's great. There's so many crossovers.
I've never seen a better movie.
Okay, you know it. I know it. We all know it, folks.
Oh, so what are we looking at? An action movie in New York that would cross over Die Hard with
Baby's Day Out.
With what?
Baby's Day Out. It's like the same sort of time, same sort of
Three Men
year.
and a Baby to Tom Selleck and I don't know.
We can call it Try Hard.
It's not a comedy; it's an action.
Oh yeah, but okay, fair enough. Yeah. It'd be great if you could get twins. If you get twins, like one's in one sort of thing and then another in another, and then they just cross paths, and it's just like, the Parent Trap, but it's like an action style Parent Trap. Just like,
As it goes, just
so now it's turned into a Disney film.
Yeah, basically. Well, Disney owns everything now, so everything's a Disney film.
Actually, if you want to use Die Hard and, the whole Disney Fox deal, you'll have to go talk to them anyway.
Oh, well, there you go. There you fucking go.
Yeah. So, probably it would be a standard action movie. I think, similar sort of plot line. There's a baddie involved, someone gets kidnapped, whatever, but it needs to splice off. And while that's going, there could be even scenes where they're in a lounge room and on the news there's like chopper footage of the chase that's happening from the original movie that's spliced off from, but it's the premise is that there should be more than one adventure happening in a city of how many millions of people every day. Why is it, we're focusing on this one, and you need to take a classic movie though. You need to take something like Heat maybe as well.
That's a good movie.
Classic scene from, people need to be able to relate to that classic scene that you splice off from, and then go, okay, because whenever you watch a scene like in Heat with the dump trucks and stuff like that, you think, and they hit a car. What about the guy that was in that car? What's happening to his story, So,
totally.
And then you splice off from the story. So, but, I need a lot more work on it.
I
had a big day at work, but that was always my idea with the movie. So I figured I'd bring
It's
that
an
to the
interesting
table.
pitch, but come back to me when you're flushed out.
We literally dropped this fucking idea on these guys.
Yeah, we did.
this
We dropped it
morning.
on 6 or 7 hours ago. So
I came up with the idea, and I didn't. Even
I was like
I did.
6 hours into a 10-hour shift, finished at 6:30. So
beep, beep, beep. Hey, make a big movie.
this call may be recorded and monitored for training purposes.
Russell, tell me about your hundreds millions of dollars movie. Fucking tell me.
No, well, here's my idea. I love ancient history. Big fan of ancient history. Mm-hmm. I'd like to do.
You did make a suit of armor out of beer cans.
I did. Yeah, out of Vogue's red cans, and it's a direct replica of Roman Lorica Segmentata body armor, and it looks sick. But what I want to do is set a movie in a trilogy. right? But it's about the Three Punic Wars.
Greedy.
Yeah, well, hey,
Well, you got $33.3 million to get it done for each film.
it's gonna get hard in the middle.
And that's not including advertising.
All right, maybe do it over one film, but it's gonna be like.
Could we
heavy
just take
focus
these
on
three movies and just condense them down to one?
the
Can
Hobbit.
Brian
no.
Adams is
But the idea is set, the first, second, and third Punic Wars, but mostly working on the character of Hannibal himself, the North African general from Carthage, who sent a whole host of troops over the Alps, from Spain over the Alps, to take on Rome. And they were just like...
pubes? What was it? The pubic war?
The Punic War, sorry. The
the pubic war.
You're meant to be the classiest guy on the show, Bob.
Sorry.
Come on.
He is pretty hairy, so I can understand that. But he pulls off this crazy maneuver to get these troops, like, full of elephants as well. Like, there was 40 elephants that went over the Alps. Sure, only one made it over the end. There's a lot of dead elephants on the Alps. But he managed to pull this off and then get around the back end of Rome and then just destroy them in one of their biggest upsets they've ever had, the Battle of Cannae, where they just completely surrounded them and destroyed, like thousands of Roman troops in one afternoon.
You should really put your 100 million into the first one, and then if it does well, they'll write you a...
Well, the
Might
first...
give you a few more elephants.
To be honest, the first war is actually it's kind of boring. It's mostly naval, and it's just like the Romans are like, oh, we're going to fight you, and then the other guys are like, yeah, come and fight us then. We're a naval power, so you can't fight us. It's like, oh yeah, we don't have any boats. So they have to build boats. So what they do is they find a boat that's shipwrecked, and they like rebuild it, like full style, and they're just like, all right, so that's how boats work. And they build a whole fleet of them, right? And they go out to battle them, and then they're like, oh, that's right. Our rowers aren't good, because the way they used to destroy them was like using a big sort of ram on the front and just boom, hit the side and then just sink them. Well, they weren't fast enough. So what they did was they did this trick where they put this giant claw on the front of the boat on this huge gangplank. And what happens is they drop it down onto the other boats and it bang holds them into place. And they run across the gangplank and they're like, hey, guess what? We got land units now. Boom! They just run in and slaughter them all.
Surprise, motherfucker!
But basically, that's the first Punic War, and then the second Punic War is just basically Hannibal like, oh yeah, you guys think you're so tough, huh? Well, I'm going to send some bloody elephants over the mountains, huh? And he sends them
You could
elephants.
prologue that fucking first war then.
Yeah.
You could whack that in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I picture like a voiceover and a quick
narration by Trent from Punch.
Yes, like some guys were starting some shit, and then like we went over there and then we smashed them, but then we got smashed, so now Hannibal's like gonna go over there and fuck them up real good, like, and so we're gonna fuck them.
Couldn't get the elephants on the boats, so we made a big claw to fucking punch them straight in the neck.
The I ran across.
Max and Dowie's on me fucking elephant, coppers. And so basically, the movie, like Hannibal, I want to have Hannibal cast as like Donald Glover. Right?
Oh, wow. Fuck yeah.
Right, because he's a North African like character. He's like a darker skinned fella, and he would have the range of doing that character so well. And his father, Hamilcar, is like a part of the story as well. So you could have Donald Glover's father playing the original general in the First War.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah. Oh no. Have Danny Glover playing the
Yeah.
have him playing the first one, and he's like, okay, son, basically, we hate Rome. You will never stop fighting against Rome, no matter what. And so he's like, I will, Dad. I will smash them. I'll fuck them up. Yeah. And then, it's just...
It's got to go to Trent to Punch.
Trent for Punch, he just narrates the whole thing. It's just like, yeah, so like Carthage was destroyed and we put salt in their soil, They couldn't grow any fucking plants. Not even weed.
The taking of Gosford.
So yeah, that's my sword and sandal epic.
You're massive on history, aren't you?
I love history.
Did you watch the new the Troy series on Netflix, The Fall of an Empire or whatever it is? There's a I think it's a 10 episode miniseries of Troy, the Trojan War and everything.
Yeah.
Same as the movie, bloody Eric Bana and Brad Pitt and whatever. But it's a 8 to 10 episode series on Netflix. It only landed last week, I think.
Do you know they only just over the last 20 years discovered ancient Troy?
Yeah.
Oh, no, 30 or 40 years, I think it was. They only, like, that, in relative terms, that's very short. They found it, but the guy who found it was a fuckwit, and he dug too far down and destroyed all the artifacts. He's like, well, this is like this
Fucking
German...
Troy from Punchy.
Yeah, Troy. Yes. Oh, there we go. There's another movie, Troy from Punchy. But no, it was this German guy. He's like, no, I think it's
Why
going
is
to
he
be
gonna be
further
German?
down. No, then the guy was German.
Oh.
Like the guy who found it was German, but he was like real stupid. He's like, no, we're going to dig further down, go further down. No, I'm going to find it, and as I find it further down, and tongue. We've gone too far. But
Scheiße.
yeah, I might have to check it out then. Troy, Fall of an
Yeah, it's full of a kingdom, fall of an emperor or something like that.
They,
You see
they
the-
thought it was all mythological. They didn't think Troy existed until they found it, and they're like, "Oh shit, this is real."
Bob, do you want to go next, or will I?
Yeah, I'll take it because I followed you last time and that was a fucking mistake.
Hey, at least we didn't talk about ISIS. Oh no, we're talking about it again.
Fucking surprise, surprise! It's another animation I'm going to go with.
Hell yeah! Tell me all about it.
Why not? Because if money's not an object, I'm a big fan of like the movies by like Leica Studios and
Kubo on the
Aardman
Two
and stuff.
Strings. And...
So I'd love to do like a fucking full blown stop motion animation
Fuck,
feature.
yes.
Fuck yeah.
Because like building those sets and that sort of stuff would be a fucking amazing like experience. and
Nightmare
stuff.
Before Christmas,
And it's
Coraline,
something I've
Corpse
never-
Bride.
Yeah. Oh man, Paranorman is like one of my favorites.
I love Paranorman.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So something like that. And it's an area of animation I've never dipped my toe into either. Just because it's such a fucking massive undertaking.
I've seen your fucking toes. They're big.
They're big toes.
There's a lot of dipping going on there, friends.
Double dipping.
Very nice.
So I'd say like with my idea for a stop motion, I'd want to go sort of high fantasy, Monster Hunter
Oh, that
sort
sounds
of
cool.
kind of thing. Like
Forests and stuff, and
yeah.
creatures in the forest.
Oh
So you've
man,
got,
if you
like,
did that, that'd be
caves and-
huge in Japan. If you did a Monster Hunter style like
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
Japan would be like, yeah, more please. Like there's like nanas and stuff who play Monster Hunter like on like the trains and stuff like that. They just sit there and they play like
Really?
Vita. Yeah, huge. Everyone plays it over
Yo,
there.
Nan.
It's like Pokemon, but for like older people. Well, I suppose Pokemon's for older people anyway. I play it.
Isn't Pokemon for everyone, though?
It is.
Not me.
Tell me more about your movie, Bob.
Yeah, so
Will you be like a younger protagonist, got to
Yeah.
prove himself,
Yeah.
hunt this mythical creature, something like that?
yeah, I'm a big fan of like coming
The
of
hero's
age.
journey.
Oh yeah, the hero's journey would be part of it, obviously. But I'm a big like coming of age kind of fan as well. Like,
Yeah,
so
for
I
sure.
reckon that kind of pre-teen, early teen
mm.
protagonist. And I have like maybe a group of kids that went out. Like my idea is kind of like they all sort of live in a small village and people are sort of disappearing and like they all sort of talk about this kind of boogie monster sort of monster that lurks and they can't go out at night and blah, 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 that sort of thing. And one of their friends goes missing basically out of the group. And then this gang of kids has got to go out there and find their friend basically and like slay monsters, like sort of work up to the fucking major boss kind of deal. So
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
but have that sort of like comedy of that kind of age group as well, like still a bit of swearing and a bit of like
So it's kind of like It meets The Goonies meets Stranger Things meets Monster Hunter.
With a bit of South Park style humour.
Yeah, with a bit of sort of like Witcher or something thrown in there. With
Yeah.
that kind of high fantasy monster.
Yeah,
sort of
it's
stuff.
a bit edgier, little edgier fantasy. Yeah.
Cutting the heads off fucking Hydra snakes.
Fuck
I
yeah.
thought,
Monster
I thought
things and-
Goonies when he was explaining it.
Yeah, that kind of deal. But like, with the ability to sort of like create all these crazy stop motion fucking monsters and shit that they can take down and stuff. Would be kind of
Fuck
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to finance your movie.
All right, done.
Can I choose the name?
Yeah.
Breaking the Mold.
Breaking the mold.
Like, you think about it, it's like they're changing childhood, they're sort of changing that, it's molded clay, and that breaking the mold, you know?
I like it.
I think it's a bit too on the nose, but we can work
Yeah.
on that.
I think
I was being kind.
I think DreamWorks will change that.
Damn it, DreamWorks, ruining my dream. Works.
That's really good. I like that idea. I would love to see something like that, like stop motion. We should do a fucking Paranorman audio commentary.
Yeah, I'd be down for that for sure.
All right, we're doing it on the weekend.
I'm fucking dying to see whatever they're doing next. I'd love all the Leica movies, the Coraline, the Paranorman, Kubo and the Two Strings.
You saw Kubo, didn't you?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. Was it better, same sort of level as Paranorman? Because I got a massive fucking soft spot for Paranorman.
Yeah, I think I do too, because I think I just like the setting and the kind of, the monster thing that Paranorman sort of had. Kubo went for more of the Eastern kind of thing, and I really enjoyed it in the cinema, but I don't think it quite stuck with me the same way Paranorman did.
Mm.
Yeah. I've only seen it the one time in the cinema, though. I want to pick it up on Blu-ray. Box Trolls was another one they did.
Yep.
That was fucking sick. That's a really good movie.
I haven't seen that one either. No. I should get on these Leica movies. I should get on a few of them. I've seen, obviously, Coraline and Paranorman. I own the both of them, but
Box Trolls is like probably the most solid of their like movies that they've done. Like just generally great story and fucking amazing design.
Is that an original concept, Box Trolls? Because I know Coraline's based on the Neil Gaiman book, and I'm not sure if Paranorman's based on anything. Maybe. Probably not. Maybe a kid's book, if anything, but I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think Paranorman might be a original thing by them.
Cool.
But Box Trolls, I'm not sure. I feel like that's their own thing as well.
I want to see your movie.
I want to see it too.
Breaking the mold.
Breaking the mold.
How about we change it to the shape of clay? So the shape of water, shape of clay.
Grinding Nemo.
Oh, God.
That wasn't $100 million porn.
Something smells fishy here.
I guess I'm last. So, my movie. I had to do research for my blockbuster film. Ooh. I don't think I'll need 100 million, but, having the extra... You guys tell me when I'm done. Alright, so mine's a period piece.
Nice.
Gross.
It's set in 1970...
Fuck up.
Just fucking with my flow.
I was going to offer you to edit that out, but that's actually...
And that's it. That's the end of our segment. Good night, everyone. All right. My movie is a period piece. It's set in a previous time. Yep. It's set in 1974. May 1974.
Mate.
It surrounds a group of kids. They live on this island, all right?
Oh, shit. We've got the same movie.
Hey, we were a bunch of kids growing up on an island.
The Apple Isle.
Teddy.
So, it's the beginning of, let's say May 1974. Spring's almost over. Summer's about to begin. We're in the United States of America. We follow this group of kids. They're all friends. You'll see a common theme in my two films. They're big film. They're big film fans, these young kids. They're probably, 10, 11, 12 years old. And, they've grown up on Universal monster movies. They're big fans of Humphrey Bogart and stuff. They all have different tastes and that, and they love everything about the movies. They've got their own Super 8 camera, one of them's got, and they're making their own movies and stuff. And they love everything about it. They all want to grow up. They want to be makeup artists. They want to be directors. They want to be actors and all this sort of stuff. And they're absolutely in love with cinema. And then they find out that a movie is coming to film on their island of Martha's Vineyard. And that movie is Jaws.
Oh.
And then the movie takes place across the filming of Jaws. And it's about this group of kids who keep trying to get involved in this movie. They're trying to get onto the set of Jaws. They want to see how everything's done. They're sneaking around, and they've got this movie in that as well, and they're trying to show it to someone. They're like, we want to show someone this movie, who works on this set. So it's kind of like Stand By Me, cross with the Goonies, kind of cross with the Little Rascals, and they're trying to get onto the set, and this is
my idea.
And so it's Jaws being filmed, but then they get involved in the history of the movie and that. So there's all this history about the shark never worked because it was designed for freshwater, not for saltwater. Well, I've got a scene in this movie where the kids break in at night to look at the shark because they hear about this robot shark that they've got. And one of the kids gets in there and he's, wow, this is so cool, the animatronics and that. And he's got a Coke and something scares him and he spills Coke all through the shark. And that's why the shark doesn't work.
Oh, that's
And so
fucking
it's
great
these
idea.
kids, like, involved in this film set. It's kind of like a coming of age thing, but it's like concurrently happening while Jaws is being filmed.
This is great. Can you
I
tie
want to
in
see
like?
this movie.
Can you
Fucking
tie in
hell.
like older footage of like the filming of Jaws, like bits and pieces from Jaws?
Yeah. And then they they run into like
yeah.
Steven Spielberg and stuff, and like he gives them they give him like the movie and stuff, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like, and he gives them like a motivational speech about making movies. This is my first movie, but you could be here one day and whatever, and like these kids don't
Yes,
really get
Spielberg
anywhere, but they
takes
have a
his-
great experience and that, and they go away motivated.
Spielberg takes his hat off and then just like gently puts it onto like the younger kid who wants to be a director and just like nuzzles it down, and the kid lifts his head
Indiana
up.
Jones and the
kid
Last
lifts his
Crusade
head
moment.
head up, and it's in the future, and he's like directing this really great porn film.
You're just ruining my movie, Russell.
I'm sorry, I fucked
And
it.
then the kid lifts his head up and he's hosting a podcast.
And his name's Brent Jacob. So, guys, welcome back to this leaky grab bag.
He's so angry right now.
I know.
But yeah, that's my movie. I originally thought
love
I
it.
would just make like a documentary of Steven Spielberg's life, and I thought, no, I'll make it about like the making of Jaws. But then I thought, nah, this is more interesting. It's like something happening concurrently while that movie's being made, like that classic movie. And obviously, the island in question is Martha's Vineyard off Massachusetts.
That's a fucking excellent idea, man.
Mhm.
That is
I love
actually
it.
really good. And I think you could probably actually sell that pitch. Like, it's actually fucking, I'd watch that. Yeah.
Now,
You
what?
could take off your goggles and be in Ready Player One. And just because you can create your own scenery in that. Like, so this scenery can be the film set of Jaws. You can go back and then it's all there.
So, what are you going to name it?
Don't know.
Cutting your teeth.
Never. I didn't
Baby
think that long.
teeth. Baby teeth.
Baby teeth.
No. I hate
Okay.
the title.
Teething pains.
I don't know. I don't know what I'd name it. I just, the story. That's it. That's what I got. That's all I got. I have to work on it.
I like it. I like it. Okay, you get the money. I'll let you have the money.
Thanks, Russell.
What about his movie? It was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, you know, that
Breaking the mold.
We all get the money. We all get the money.
Not me. I got to come back with a better script.
Oh, no. You still get it. Just don't worry, man. He always says that with every one of these. He always says it. Trust me, he's going to give you the money.
That's it.
Thanks,
That was
Eddie.
really good. I enjoyed that. Movie pitches. We should do more movie pitches in the future, but less current ISIS relations things, current events and such.
I would just like...
This show would have been 10 minutes shorter if that didn't fuck us.
I think you're going to be Allah Akbar from this podcast.
Well, just give us like a day's notice at least on these.
Sorry.
We only did it tonight because Russell was available. And then when I couldn't get hold of Russell, I contacted you. And then Russell contacted me back. And he's like, who else is on? I was like, Doug. He's like, oh yeah, fuck, I haven't seen Doug in weeks. I'll come on.
Also, I'll
That's
turn up
it.
as well.
Movie pitches. I like everyone's movies.
And then Bobby was like, well, if they're on, I can't have them take my spot.
I was just trying to fuck you guys up. I came up with the idea, so I was like, maybe I can make them fail.
If you don't know, in the podcast studio, Bobby sits right next to the Jags, and he's just been throwing mad shade at us boys, going, don't you come near my spot. This
Yeah.
is my spot.
Yeah.
Woof.
I've been slowly caressing his thigh the whole time, too.
He's got to get home and tell his missus where he's been for the last few hours.
I think that's it. I had a good time with that.
Pod.
All right, shut up. Calm down. What did I tell you before? I told you it's raining in today. What have you done? Look at this. It's a run wild.
Sorry, we've had too much fun.
Run wild. Russell Mania's run wild all over us. All right, let's wrap it up. Bobby Baxter, people want to find you online. Where can they find you and your movie pictures?
BobbyBaxter.com and Bobby Baxter Cartoons on Facebook and Instagram.
Doug Schindler.
www.facebook.com/Doug Schindler Comedy. Instagram at Doug.Schindler, and same with Twitter.
Awesome.
Russell Redmond.
You can see some of my work on Launceston memes and also just any random news website comment section where I'm just shitposting.
And www.uporn.com/.
chicken feed.
A little goes a long, long way, boys.
More local references. And if you want to find the Bearded Geeks, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Bearded Geeks Pod. We're also on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube, so you can check out the show there. If you want to buy a bloody t-shirt, get on TeePublic, buy some clothes for your kids and bloody hoodie for winter and all that good shit. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. And that's us. Hey! That was a good idea, Bob. I really enjoyed spending 3 hours on that this morning.
No worries. Woo! I'll be sure to make it fucking harder next time.
Shoot us the message like 24 to 48 hours in advance.
I only got the pitch for the episode this morning, so we're actually running real behind this week. So.
Yeah. Well, Jake's, the first thing I read on the messenger this morning was Jake's going, still got no ideas for the show today. I was like, this.
Have we stopped recording?
No, of course we haven't.
Oh, because I want to make some ISIS jokes.
All right, everyone. Thanks very much, and we'll see you all next week on the Bearded Geeks.
Hey! Shit.